Okay, the servers are running slow today, but we're headed into Stay at the Inn Epic Hard, and I will try and get Twitch up on the iPad, get buffing started. Again, I'm a indiscriminate buffer in that I believe in applying every buff available, regardless of what the actual criteria for the are the only buffs that might be needed. Let's get our bear out. Someone else has suggested to me I should be using the owlbear all the time. And I'm going to put the iPad on chat. I see it does have the game up on Twitch, so I'll put the iPad on chat. So I should be able to interact.
Before the man can give you the key, sellswords burst out of the nearby buildings.
Again, this is on hard. Earlier I was doing a quest on Epic Elite just to see how Dwerkin did at this level, but it took a long time and a couple pots, and so probably needs to get some more levels on him before he goes to Epic Elite. But the amazing thing, I guess, is that it worked at all. I do think that we need a different naming construct for Epic Elite. I think we should be saying the level of the quest after EE, and so some quests are EE 23 and some quests are EE 27. And I think for comparison's sakes, it would be easier if we actually said that when we're talking about them. If you said, well, I was doing an EE 27 quest today, and the mobs were all level 45, except for the end boss, who was level, whatever. Or I was doing an EE 27 quest, and the mobs were all level 72. So there's a big difference there. And so the thing is, some things that do work in regular quests won't work, and especially magic won't work in epic quest. The other thing I was wondering is if epic mobs actually need what I would call a DR per level, and by that I mean, so if anybody with a big enough axe can go around and kill any mob in the game right now, and eventually, no matter how many hit points you add to it, eventually you can just hack it down. But what if the mobs had a DR based on the number of levels difference between the mob and your melee? And so in other words, if you were a level 40, if you're a level 28 melee trying to hit a level 72 mob, then the mob might get DR of 100 points per level difference. And so a level 28 melee trying to hit a level 70 mob, the mob would get an additional DR of like 500 to 600. And so the melees would be the same scaling problem that casters have, right? That one of the reasons that people have to work so hard to be a DC caster is to get their casting DCs up, and so the 2-hit for melees ought to be the same way and the damage ought to be the same way.
The terrified villager
where you really have to work on it in order to be able to hit mobs that are epic elite mobs. Because right now, basically anybody and their brother can run into almost anything and just hit things with their sword, and it all works out. And so because the melees get their damage up to 500 a hit or 1,000 a hit, and they can do the same damage against level 50 mobs or level 70 mobs or whoever. And I think that's probably wrong. I think that a level 28 toon should probably have great difficulty hitting a level 70 mob. I'd like to see CRs go back to where they actually mean challenge rating, which was the whole intent. That's what CR actually means in D&D, is challenge rating. And by that I mean, if you run into not just how many, I think right now Turbin's using it to indicate how many hit dice the mob has, and that's not actually what challenge rating means. And so like this guy's level 29. What challenge rating is supposed to mean is that a full party of level 29 players would use some resources in fighting this one level 29 skirmisher. That's what a challenge rating of 29 is supposed to mean. And no. You know, my level 23 cleric isn't going to use significant resources by himself in battling this level 29 person, and so he's not a level 29 soon. We'll come back there. So there are a lot of breakables along here. Got to get them all broken. These guys are supposed to come running out and surround you. They're not doing a great job of coming and running out and surrounding me, though. I don't know if I'm too quiet or if they're just not doing well tonight because the servers. That's what's supposed to happen is you walk up to here and then the doors open on that side and they open back on this side and then these mobs come running out. Not even anybody in this one. I wonder if he wandered off. Mob, where are you? Come ambush me so I can include you in my kill count. Same thing here. We'll hear that door open after we get a little further down, so go a little further down. Now run in here and see if I can find the ambush. Now it ruins the whole thing if I have to come find you to ambush me. So sellsword skirmisher, clearly whatever they paid for you, they didn't pay enough because they didn't get the quality of sellsword that they really needed in this adventure. Let's see if we can find somebody down here. Oh, we found someone out in the hall. Oh, is that what it was? Is there was an umbral warg that was supposed to come out of that room while ago and you went off and hid somewhere instead of coming out? Or did you come out from there across the hall? Oh, now we've got a whole room full of people. Well, this is better. This is more like an ambush, see? This is more ambushy. So good job. You know, still not a level 29 ambush because I still don't feel like I'm going to use significant resources in order to deal with you guys. I think I'm just going to use my spell-like abilities and again, you know, I appreciate that it's also true that Dwerkin's not just a level 23 guy, even though he's at level 23, because he has all these epic destiny abilities. Then he's not strictly a level 23, you know, 20 plus 3 epic tune. Not the same as a first life tune that doesn't have all the epic destinies completed.
As the last of the inn's invaders falls, you hear a door creak open nearby. Are they gone? A voice inquires. Please, come into
I heard you had a key to the tavern. The tavern?
The innkeeper.
Okay, let me into the barn.
Key, along with a warning.
Don't trust. Don't touch anything.
Anything but that key. I keep all my valuables in that chest.
Now the barn looks like that one. That looks like a barn door.
As you enter the barn, a Netherese wizard brandishes his staff. You will not stop us from
cows. You can targetable cows.
Live or die.
Leave or die. Yeah, it's not gonna work.
As the wizard incants a summoning spell, shadows begin to lift and move along the floor of the barn.
I actually like this one because it's all about shadows attacking. And shadows attacking is good for clerics because of the being a cleric. Shadows are kind of a pain, but because they have this mechanism where they run off all the time. Don't just stand up and get killed. Now, if they actually if they ran off and then cast at you or something, But just running off and running back is not really a good strategy for them. Using a mass heal there uses up some spell points, but
You are more capable than you appear, the wizard calls down.
But,
If you
wraps
have
them up.
the nerve to face me,
I'm going to back up a little bit so I can see better.
here.
You can cast a heal spell at certain undead. The game's smart enough to auto-target you if you cast a heal spell at someone that while you have a monster targeted, unless the monster is undead. So in other words, if I have an undead monster like this, umbral rats aren't literally undead, they're shadow creatures, but if I have someone who would be damaged by positive energy targeted and I cast a heal spell, then it will
Nethery's wizard stops his
attack them as if...
anger.
Oh, okay, well, I'll stop and kill you. If you're mad, I'll stop and kill you. Let's waste a tsunami on you. This is the only problem with playing with the owlbear, is you get a lot of scenes of owlbear butt. As the owlbear manages to stand right in front of the tombs. And what we're missing in DDO is a shrink your hireling spell. That's something that was nice in EverQuest, is they had a shrink your hireling spell. That should be open. Is there something else I needed to do? He's quite dead. That's got to open up next. Oh, I bet we're waiting on the game delay. The servers are running slow tonight, and so the server may have to catch up. I don't think there's any more mobs left, but I'm going to run down to the bottom and see if we can find any mobs. Any monsters that haven't been cleared. Maybe a monster fell down. There's a rat or two.
The wizard and his shadowy minions.
Yep, that's what it was.
The dark barriers fade away.
In the last couple of iterations, some of the mobs have had trouble falling off things. Their pathing has gotten a little loose, and so they're perfectly happy running off the edge of cliffs and so on. And so that's okay sometimes because it simplifies the pattern, but other times, like this, you actually have to kill the mobs before you can go to the next area, and so it's bad. Now here we have the chest where we can get the tavern key, but these other things are interesting because
The innkeeper was worried about.
it seems to belong to him. The innkeeper details his shady dealings working with well-known criminals to extort money from fellow townspeople. So, yeah, that's bad. So let's take that and we'll go confront him about that. Because I'm an awful good kind of guy, and if he's been having shady dealings, then he should answer for that. Okay, so we've done those two, and now we have the key to somewhere else, so let's go somewhere else.
The bartender is nowhere to be seen. Not surprising, as the sellswords have ransacked the tavern in their search for the scroll piece.
Where are you going? Stand still. Soundburst, fall asleep, let the bear eat you. Bear, bite his head off. When you see the purple lettering numbers on the damage, that means that damage was, the mob was particularly vulnerable to that damage. And so when you see gold lettering over her, it means that that's doing normal damage or she has some slight resistance. This is locked. Normal damage or she has some slight resistance to it. And then if they turn yellow, then that means the mob is actually resistant to that type of damage. And if they're purple, that's great because it means the mob is particularly vulnerable to that type of damage. Okay, so...
A smooth voice issues from the cellar. Hold your attacks, men. I wish to
let's
speak
look for all the
with
breakables. Get our breakable count
heroes.
in. Breakables, breakables. Where are you, breakables? You can also use Q to target breakables. That helps pick out which crates are breakable crates and which crates are just in the way. Let's ask the owlbear to stand still. And when we hear that little sound in the background, that means that in this case we've broken enough breakables to hit the bonus. And so now we're at an aggression bonus and we have an 8% breakables bonus. So I still wish I could find some more breakables because the maximum breakable bonus is at 15%. I'm not sure where the rest of the breakables are though here. They'll wait for me a minute while I... Oh, here's some more. Good, good. And were there some over here? There are boxes, but they're not breakable. Oh, what about that guy? No, no, boxes, but not breakables. Oh, and there's some shrines there, which I was ignoring, so I could pop in the shrine. I'm down to half my spell points. I think we'll be okay with half the spell points. That's probably okay for this. Let's run down this one. I guess I came down these stairs and not down the other stairs is how I missed those breakables. Let's see where we're at on our count. Plus 10%, so we're still missing some breakables somewhere. And I'm not sure where. Could be somewhere really obvious like that. Okay, so I'm not going to spend any more time on it. This fight can get a little bit complicated because he's got all these helpers.
The wizard's voice goes cold.
Maybe we can simplify it. Let's get him going again.
Do you really not know? No matter. Either way, you're useless. Your life is now full.
Yeah, I'm going to switch my strategy a little bit and ignore him for a moment, and let's clean out all these other guys. Yeah, let's clear the air a little bit. He picked up a curse along the way. I'm not sure what he got cursed with. You can actually examine. It's getting a little confused, so let's actually examine, see what curse he's got on. Just a curse. No specifics. He's just feeling cursed. Not sure where he picked that up. Oh good, I was just getting ready to clear that, and it dissipated.
Impatient, the wizard cried.
Now what happens here is he just stops and summons
As he speaks,
this other guy to fight for him. Again, my thinking on whatever he casts in the air can't be good. And so generally I just try and clean up. And this guy's only irritating to the extent that he keeps jumping around. I guess since the boss stays active, what it could do is just ignore his little shadow buddy and focus on the boss. But it's tempting to pay attention to the shadow, even though it's... Yeah, that was a nice 1,000-point. What I think this is a disadvantage, that this Mass Cure Moderate Wounds, I can't actually cast that on mobs, even though it's a healing spell, and he is targetable with healing spells. I can't cast that at him, and I think that's wrong. So of course this is the real beauty of the burst, is that you get damage to the mobs and healing for the good guys, and it's a twofer. Well, there's the penultimate bad guy's dead, and just his shadow's left. He's standing so close to me that he is behind me, which I object to, because that's just a game problem that makes him not targetable. So I'm going to target myself. See, what I did there is I targeted myself and then cast my cheap mass heal from Exalted Angel, and then because I targeted myself for the heal, then it went off and killed the other guy, the bad guy. So go figure. Okay, and that was the voice of our hostage. He says he's over here in this large crate, so I'm going to check and make sure I have my bauble on, my voice of the master on. Voices! Voices! Everyone put on your voices.
The bartender emerges from the splintered crate.
Hey, we're looking for... Why are we inside the crate? Been in that crate for ages. We're looking for a scroll piece.
Mulls over the question of the scroll scrap.
A magic scroll? No, he never gave me anything like that. The only thing that sponge ever gave me was a note promising to pay his bar tab.
At the mention of the bar bill, the bartender's face lights up. He rushes upstairs.
He rushes upstairs. Oh, we didn't miss any breakables up here, did we? So let's see, we've got our Vandal bonus of 10%, Persistence bonus, Onslaught bonus of 15%. So he rushes upstairs. I've lost him. Where did you rush upstairs to? Did you get lost rushing upstairs? Are you stuck? William, rush upstairs. Let's ask the owlbear to leave the party. Let's ask the owlbear to dismiss. Okay, William, rush upstairs. This is odd. I have not seen this happen before. He's going to rush upstairs and then say, well, gosh, this thing right here, he paid his bar bill, and it turns out that's the scrap of paper I'm looking for. But I think William got stuck. Well, I'm going to shrine while we wait for William to walk upstairs. The quest is over. What's got to happen now is William's got to walk upstairs. And so it's kind of odd that he would stick there. He's on a script though, and so either he's lost his script or the server just got confused or something. Looking to see if there's anything else I needed to pick up or anything else that I could find to break while we wait on there's more. So silly me. Things that were clearly out in the open needing to be broken. But that did give me time to, hopefully that got our breakables up. Yep, 15% breakables. So the whole quest worth 18,000, and it's taken, I don't know how long so far. Now we're stuck in this do loop while we wait for the server to load his text. I think maybe he's got some more things to say. Just typing on the forums, they said one of the data server arrays was having some kind of an issue, and so I was just sharing that in the guild chat. So I hate to abandon the quest because we're almost done, and you know it's only 18,000 XP, but it's 18,000 XP, right? And if they're having this problem with the server, then they're going to have it all night with the server. I don't have anything else that can move him. I can't interact with him in any way. We're on the same team. He's not petrified. He didn't actually have any effects on him because he's just an NPC at this point. He's not a combatant. That you don't get him out of the box until all the mobs are dead, so. So, there's probably no point in signaling the DM because everybody's having similar problems everywhere, and so they're going to be the busy tonight. So we can look around the inn a little bit. Nice fire effect here, and this doesn't look like it would be a bad place to visit. All in all, especially now that we've cleared out the bad guys. Once he comes up, he'll point at the board. If he manages to come up, once he comes up, he'll point at the board. Then we can click on that, and then we can open our well-deserved loot. No way to open the loot until then. No way to click on the board until then. Can't finish the quest until William comes up the stairs. Well, I don't know what else there is to be done here. That's Dwerkin's Wings, one of the benefits of... So let's talk about choices. In Epic Destinies, so Exalted Angel is one of the three. What I've done is I've flipped over to the Destiny map. And so within the Divine Karma, Exalted Angel is one of the three Divine Karmas. Now, on the third time through Primal Karma, then I just left it 0 because there's no advantage to building up that 6 million karma points again because I've already done the 3 lives I need to do there. Technically, there was no advantage to building up the Divine Karma either, but I enjoy playing those anyway. So, because Dwerkin's a cleric, then the Divine Epic Destinies fit better with his skill set. So, the reason I like Exalted Angel is because you've got this low spell point mass cure moderate wounds, although I don't always remember to use it as much as I could. You can turn into an angel, which is a nice effect, and it gives you some spell point generation. So he always has angelic presence on, but it's this last one, Ascendance, and so you can turn on Ascendance, and what that does is it lights him up with the glow. I'm going to rotate the screen so that we can see him from this side, and I'll take off all the buttons. So it gives him a nice look, and whenever he casts light spells or he casts damage spells or healing spells, then it gives him, whenever you cast positive energy healing, you grant the target temporary hit points. And when you cast light damage spells, you gain temporary spell points. So you get some temporary spell points that last 2 minutes, and while it's running, you can turn on this Ascendance. And what the Ascendance does, Astral Vibrance. Ascendance is this turning into a glowing angel form. Astral Vibrance, what that does is nearby enemies take damage. And so that costs spell points per second unless you're in the glowy ascended form, and then it doesn't. And so clearly I forget to use them against bosses even, and so like that last fight with all the different shadow creatures, that would have been ideal if pop that on, and then okay. Let's see, the other nice thing is, as part of, you get +3 more to your DC for your spells to make them, in order to land the spells and make them harder to resist. I picked up 3 more points of piercing spellcraft, which is spell penetration, another 10% of healing amp, and then this blood and radiance builds up crit points based on how many healing spells or light spells you cast. Then it gives you a sacred bonus to your healing and light, positive energy and light damage. So those are the big things that, and you get more spell points from this one. more positive energy from this one, more light damage from this one, and this is the Avenging Light. Before I had the Sunbolt lit. Sunbolt does more damage, but it has a slower recast time versus the Avenging Light. So, well, this isn't working. I don't know how long we've been standing here, but probably too long. And I hate to just pop out, but if the servers were healthy, then could have gone and run something else at this time and made the XP already. But since the servers aren't healthy, we may end up in the same problem in every quest we try and run. William, wake up! Wake up, William! That's actually blocking a little bit, so I'm going to move that just a little bit. There's one more half a buff that showed there somehow. William, wake up! William, wake up! William Windspear. Windspear. Bartender. I thought when I came around the corner up here, I saw William also standing up here, but I don't see him. I don't know why he would stick there. What I suspect is it's trying to load. He needs to say something, and it's trying to load his text, and it can't get his text to load off the data server. So that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on the data server. We're stuck, stuck, stuck. There's no more breakables to break. There's no more mobs to kill. We're just stuck. I guess eventually you could get ransacked if you just kept fighting the boss. It didn't seem like mobs were respawning. Oh, you know what we can do? There's another side trip that we need to go do. We didn't confront this fellow about the shady dealings, did we? So let's run back up here. And let's see. Yeah, I put on all my buffs again. Let's confront this fellow.
Surprised to see you. Oh, you're back. Is there?
It's time you came clean.
The heaves a sigh and turns to open a hidden door behind. With nothing left to lose, the innkeeper turns to attack you. You'll never live to tell my secrets, he shouts.
Actually, my money's on Dwerkin in this case, because even though you've got the 22,000 hit points, then I don't think it's going to work for you. Dwerkin's not taking much damage here. He's got good mitigation. He's got good healing. Even though this guy's level 33 and all melee, 10 levels higher than Dwerkin, then that's okay. Got all my spell points to use in this one battle, so this is not a spell point. I need to save any spell points back.
The traitorous innkeeper falls to the ground.
Oh, there you go.
Silent.
2,000. And the server responded just fine, and everything's everything. And so why is poor William stuck over there? But maybe coming up here somehow will help poor William get unstuck. So let's go back and check on William now. So that guy, it was just time for him to come clean, and he decided to fight it out instead. So the server's not stuck, and it's not lagged. It's just William Winspear stuck. Let's see what that side trip was worth. Confront the innkeeper about his journal. 2,000 XP. Highest level player is 25 and adventure's 25. Is thinking of the owlbear. Dwerkin's at 23, but the owlbear is level 25. So. There's no way for me to interact with him or push him along or try and get him started. I can buff him. No, I can't even buff him. Dwerkin's casting the spell, but you see it's hitting Dwerkin and not the guy, because the guy is just an NPC. Well, let's see. Do tickets. Gameplay. Yeah, that's fair. Gameplay. NPC. Well, is there a stuck? Well, I'm not literally stuck. Stuck. Well, that gameplay, naming violations, cheating. Yeah, gameplay. Gameplay. NPC. In the game now, and William Winspear. Freed, but got stuck going up to the bar to point at the IOU to end the game. Can you unstick for William? So quest can complete. All monsters. Quest now. We're actually in stay at the end. Stay at the end. So we'll put this will be an opportunity for the DM to show up and do a good deed and save the day. And it shows the ticket system. So in DDO, what you could do is open a ticket, and then you type in what's right. You know, you pick out the category, type in what's wrong, and then what'll happen is if there's a DM on, and if it's something that he can do anything about, then he'll pop on and send me a tell, and it'll be behind the video window where I use a video window to cover up my tell windows in case somebody says something to me that they don't want on the video. Then okay, good. So you won't see that, but I'll share it with you. But I suspect he is stuck waiting on that text to load. That's what I think he's doing. And I don't know if the DM can unstick him or not. Because if the text, you know, but at least they should be able to tell me if they can help or not. And again, yeah, on a normal night, you just kind of say, well, gosh, something bad happened here, but I could go do DA by the time I've waited on this and have gotten the XP back. But I actually need to finish this quest because it's the next one on the saga. The way sagas work is they have a list of quests that they want you to do, and if you do the quest on that list, then they give you extra experience points. And so I still want to finish this quest in order to get the XP for the quest, to get it done on my saga. I picked up the shamanic fetish. Actually, after reflection, I think it's a little redundant because it's 108 positive, 108 radiance, but I used the Forgotten Light, which is 108 devotion, which is positive, and 108 radiance. So don't need the shamanic fetish because I use Forgotten Light. I guess what that would do is I could use the shamanic fetish instead of Forgotten Light, and then I could use could switch over to Tira, Sword of the Sea. Now that does more damage, and so if I was hitting things with the sword, then that would be the more better. As you probably observed, I don't tend to hit things with my weapon because Dwerkin's a casting cleric, not a melee cleric, so he doesn't have everything built up. But Tira, Sword of the Sea does significantly more damage, 26.95. The other nice thing is it ties to this gadget right here, the planar focus of erudition, so that gives wisdom plus 8. And if you're holding that and you're holding planar conflux, which Tira, Sword of the Sea has been upgraded to be a planar conflux, then you get spell penetration 9 and a 250 point enhancement to your spell point total and 15 psionic bonus to your universal spell power. So all that would be good. And so if I could wear my shamanic fetish, that would give me devotion and radiance, and then if I could use Tira, Sword of the Sea, then that would give me all those spell casting spell penetration. So that would be, and spell points, so that would be terrific. But problem is this trinket, planar focus of erudition, is a trinket, and so I can't wear the shamanic fetish at the same time as that trinket. And if I now I could just depend on, so my shield gives me the Wall of Wood here gives me devotion 102. It just wouldn't give me light damage. Doesn't give me the radiance damage, so I'd have to go get my radiance damage somewhere else. But this is kind of an option, and so during these levels I could switch over to that configuration, and then that would let me. Dwerkin can use a longsword even though he's a cleric, because he's a cleric of the Sovereign Host, and the Sovereign Host uses longsword as a favored weapon. And so even though he's a cleric, old school cleric should say no sharp weapons. They have to use maces or morning stars or clubs. But because his god's favored weapon, religion's favored weapon is a longsword, then he can use Tira, Sword of the Sea. And the damage itself is, great if you're going to hit things, but because he's a caster cleric. Now what it does do, 3126 spell points. So you got that going for you. You got another 50 spell points, which, doesn't make up for the lack of positive spell energy, unfortunately. William, where are you? Come up here and point at this sheet of paper, please. And there's no way to trigger that sheet of paper without William coming up here, unfortunately. William, wake up. I'm not stuck. If you were stuck, you could type, you know, /stuck and get unstuck. But I'm not stuck. William Winsphere's stuck. So that's a problem. So let's think about spell pin 9. So we get, when both items are set, this says benefit of spell penetration 9. Greetings, I'm Game Master. We were momentarily good. So the Game Master's talking to me, so that's nice. And he says, I'll be there in a second. So Game Masters exist, yay! Keep my R running just out of...
The bartender points at the promissory note on the wall.
That's it!
He shouts.
And he fixed it.
All along.
He poked the guy and got it to work. And so now William's run up here and he's pointing at the thing.
One side of the parchment reads, I promise to pay 1 platinum and 3 gold in return for beverages rendered. Yet when you turn the scrap over, you see arcane symbols and ancient writing. You have found a piece of the Nether Scroll.
And the DM, Rothgar, was nice enough to pop in and poked William and got him working again. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And he was checking with me to make sure that I was going to be able to finish the quest, which I appreciate. You know, or die trying or whatever, you're on your own once you get the quest to run. But good. Okay, so good news that there are DM helpers in live in DDO, and we're able to wrap up. So if you stuck with me this long, thank you, and that'll be a wrap for a stay at the inn. With the delay, we're in here 51 minutes and 55 seconds for 18,000 hit points, 18,000 experience points, 20,000 with the daily bonus, and then another 2,000 with the extra